Hey everybody, welcome to another video from Everything Worship. Before we get into this video, I'd like to encourage you, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do that and make sure you click the bell icon so that you don't miss any videos that we put up. And also, please remember to share and leave us a comment. So we've looked at several things so far in the past. In our last video, we were looking at just how you can get your vision out there, how as a church you need to prepare for what God wants you to do. And if you missed that video, please check out that video. Today, I wanted to answer a question because I've been asking for people to send in comments and questions, and I wanted to answer one question today. And the question is, what are some of the foundational things that you can do as you are starting a worship ministry? This could be a team connected to a church, or it would just be you're starting a group and you guys are going to be leading worship in different areas of ministry opportunities. And before you go away thinking this is not for you, let me clarify that. So there are foundational things that you must do before you start your worship team, if you're just starting out in a new group. And so if you're already out there, you're already advanced, you've been doing this for many years, there is no harm if you realize that there's some of the things that you should have done and didn't do. It would be good to readjust and actually do those things because they really help. And you might just figure out that one of the problems that you're having is because you missed out on one foundational thing that you needed to do. I think it's important for everybody to hear this, even those that they've been doing it for a while. I think it's interesting starting a new ministry and looking at how you're going to start a worship ministry is not easy. It's hard. There's so many things that go in your head, so many things that you have so many expectations of what you want this ministry to do and this group to be like. You already have ideas, you've watched different groups and you're like, I want us to be like that. And so it's interesting because obviously you're not going to just start and it's all roses and everything is working. There's going to be a period where things are not working right, and you keep on plugging away, you keep on praying, you keep on asking for guidance and wisdom, and God will surely help you. So how do you start? Well, first of all, you need to know clearly what the vision is for what you're starting. So if you're starting a group for a church, a worship ministry for a church, obviously it's not going to be done in isolation. So this worship ministry is not going to be doing things that the church is not about. It's going to be an extension, it's going to be part of the church and a ministry that is supporting the church, the vision of the church. So big issue number one, what is the vision for the church? What is the vision? And if you're doing it in isolation and it's just a group, what is the vision for that group? So you need to and when I say vision, I don't really mean just to end on, no, we exist to lead people into worship. Yeah, I mean that's like every worship team out there. They exist to lead people into worship. So I'm not talking about ending there, and I'm really talking about what is the sound, what is the purpose. When you guys start your team, what songs are you going to be singing that will achieve the vision of the church? What sound does the church want? What area are you in? What people are coming to your church? What age group is consisted in your church? What type of music do you want to be doing? What type of environment and atmosphere do you want to create? Because all those things will give you guidance on what you're really starting. it sounds a lot, because it is a lot. And we need to think about these things, because I'm a firm believer in that. When God was creating the heavens and the earth, he wasn't just like, oh, let us create the birds, boom, one type of bird. No. God is very, very creative, and he created different types of bird. He was very specific on what he was doing. Oh, this bird is going to be doing this bird is going to be doing that, this animal is going to be. He was very, very specific. And that is the same mind that we have. So why should we just, oh, it's a worship team, we're supposed to lead people, boom, let's do that? No, we need to think about what we're doing, because that's the mind that we have. So once you have your vision, you have what type of music you're going to do, the next thing is you're going to have to think about, okay, what type of people do we need in the team? And are we going to be doing the whole choir thing? Are we going to have so many people that will be in the team, and it's going to be a choir arrangement? Or is it just going to be frontline singers and just the band in the background? So all that again will determine which direction you take. If you take the choir direction, then that will give you some sort of leeway to allow even individuals that are not really superstars in singing, but they're basic, they can carry a note. So that kind of helps you even, getting the older folk, if they love singing and they want to do that, the choir arrangement really helps. Not that older folk are not superstar singers, but that's not what I'm talking about. So it kind of like helps you and guides you on what kind of people you want, and that's really very important. So when you do that, then you're looking at, okay, let's see how do we audition these people. Let's announce, let's get people to audition, and let's talk to these individuals and see who meets the criteria, because you also want the right people on the team. It's not just I want to be a part of a team. Oh, come, what's your name? Let's start. No, you want to have auditions. You want to see if these are the right people, and then you get them on the team. You have to be careful that when you get people on the team, you're not getting people on the team and then you're starting right away, and without you having a plan. You need to already have a plan in place. So if you're getting people on a new team, make sure that number one, you already have songs that you're going to be doing. Remember from the vision, the type of songs that you want. So you are going to come up with what is called a master song list that you will be picking from. Why is that important? It's important to have a master song list because that will give you a framework. It will give you the boundaries of what you're focusing on. Just on that one, I grew up in a church where we didn't have a master song list. We had been doing worship ministry for a long time. The church was in existence for a long time. And it felt like every Sunday you would have different songs. Somebody would come on a Saturday, you're having rehearsal, and say, hey, I've got a new song that we're doing tomorrow for worship. And we're like, okay. So you don't want such kind of things. You have a list of songs and you keep adding to those songs as you go on. So what that will do is that if you start with 20 songs, you say, okay guys, these are the songs for this team. We're going to start with 20 songs. It helps your team practice. It helps your team get to know those songs, and your band play those songs over and over because they know the boundaries, and it helps gel the team. It helps them grow because they are focusing on specific things. It's very vital, and this actually is a practice that should be carried on throughout, whether you are starting or you have been doing it for a long time, because you do not want, and this really happens, when you have, okay, let's have sister so and so is leading next Sunday, and then on Saturday they come and they have 3 new songs. No, you have to have a plan, and we'll talk about those other things later. But they need to pick from your selected songs that have been approved, songs that are biblical, songs that are providing the atmosphere that you want to push the vision. Those are the songs that have been approved and have been looked at. So those are the songs that people should pick from. And that's important. So you have your master song list. You need to make sure that you've agreed on your rehearsal time. That's also important. How are you going to be having your rehearsals? Now, I should also mention that there is no rush to going on stage and leading people. I think the mistake that we make is that we want to rush the process. I feel like it's very important for us to be ready for ministry on the platform. We have to be ready because the platform is not a place for you to rehearse. It is not a place for you to take your half-baked package or half-baked presentation that you have. And yeah, some people might say, no, as the Spirit leads. No, the Spirit is going to lead you to practice and perfect what you need to do so that you don't mess up, because that will ruin the atmosphere that God wants to use to touch His people. So there is don't rush. And this is something that is critical, and this is something that I've seen over the years that people do. They get up there and they're saying, no, don't listen to the way I'm singing, just listen to the words. No. Don't rush. Just prepare. So give yourself some time. If you're just starting, I would say it's going to take some time to get the band in place. Maybe you would have the singers in place, but allow for a couple of months, maybe 2 months or 3 months of just rehearsing and trying to get the team together before you actually start doing worship on a Sunday. I think that's important because you want to be ready. You don't want to rehearse when you're on the platform. I always say this, that whoever stands on the platform, you need to keep in mind that as you're standing there, you're an open book. People can see right through you. You cannot hide behind the pulpit. You cannot hide. When you stand there, we can see whether you're faking it. We can see whether it's coming from your heart or not. We can see right through you. And so it's a really, really dangerous, if I can use that word, it's a dangerous place to be if you're not ready. So be ready, and God will guide you and help you on how to do these things, and such that when you're standing there, I'm not saying you won't make mistakes, but even when you're making mistakes, there will be mistakes that people can ride over. They are not going to be mistakes that will ruin the whole atmosphere as you are on the platform. So allow for some time to get people together, to gel, to grow together, and don't rush to go on the platform and start doing it. No, we want to have a keyboard. And I should mention here that if you're starting out and you don't have instruments, I think one of the things that are common in churches that are starting out is that you'd have this brother or somebody in the church that will say, no, I have a keyboard at home. Can I lend you guys since you're just starting? And you'll be like, yeah, we don't have a keyboard. We don't have much money. Yeah, give us a keyboard. Don't take the keyboard. If you want to take something from a member, let them donate it to the church. Because the idea is, and the thing that is going to happen is, if Brother John lends a keyboard to the church, the moment that Brother John will feel hard done by the church, or they'll feel that, offended by what the pastor says, they will come on a Sunday and say, hey, I need my keyboard back. And then what are you going to do? Because it's not yours. So I always encourage churches that are starting out that, don't borrow things. If you can't afford it, then you can't afford it. If somebody wants to lend you something, well, ask them, well, you can donate to the church. Otherwise, we can't get it. And yeah, have fundraising. Ask people if they can donate. They can buy you instruments and things like that. That's always safe, but do not borrow anything from members. because you don't. It's just messy, and it's not. I don't think it's the right thing to do. So so allow for you to have a lot of time just to prepare and be ready. Obviously, they're in your rehearsals. Have time to pray. They are called rehearsals. It's practice time. So have time to pray together. But remember, it's practice. You need to practice. We had sessions in my previous church that I went to. We had sessions where we would go for our practice, and our practice maybe would run for an hour and a half and would spend 30 minutes praying. Don't do that unless God just takes over your meeting and there's some issues that he wants to deal with. Don't do that. Practice. Open in a word of prayer. Encourage people, ask for a testimony, be specific about what you're doing, ask people to share. If they had 10 15 minutes you're done, you get into your practice, because you need to practice. And if you can set time to pray aside from the practice time, that's perfect. Go for it. But use the practice time to practice and not to pray. People need to be ready. Encourage your team members to say, look, when you're coming, come prayed up. You're ready, you're prayed up, because you're bringing something to the team. Every member brings something to the team. And if we don't do our part, then things fall apart. But always bear in mind that there are going to be those people that don't do their part. So have room in your scheduling and your time that you accommodate those things. You're ready, you're fired up, you have your master song list, you have done your auditions, you've started your practice times, you're doing them effectively, you have a plan of what you're doing. Very, very important. When you're doing your songs, the songs that you're doing, if it's songs that have been done before, it's even easy, because you can break the song into parts. Okay, this is what they're doing at the beginning, this is what they're doing in the middle, this is how they're ending. If you want to fix some things, you tweak some things here and there, but there's no point in you reinventing the wheel if you don't need to. So just figure out how they're doing the song and get people to follow that, so that every time you do the song, it sounds the same. Okay, there was a point that in our church, my current church, that some songs would be different. Every time you're doing the song, it would be different. Like, it would sound different. When the band starts and it's like, oh, okay, what song is that? The next, oh, that's the song. No. Songs need to sound the same, because these songs we've heard them, we've done them before, unless you're making a change, and then you say, okay, right now let's make a change. I feel like this is what we should do, and you make the change. But otherwise, just get to a point where you've gelled enough that the band knows each other very well, they're coordinating very well, and then the singers also are on point, and then you can do those creative things as changing the songs and all that. It comes with time, so don't really worry about that. So I feel like if you do these things and you pray, and there's more things that you need to do. Again, we can't get into everything on this video. If you feel like you need more, and you feel like you need in-depth guidance on this, please send us a comment, and we'll be able to get in touch with you and see how we can connect and get to help you out. But yeah, so that's what you do. So be encouraged. It's not easy. When you start, you'll be making mistakes here and there, but have a structure and know what you're shooting for. And every time that you lead worship on a Sunday, look at how you did. Like, guys, how did we do? Because your team also needs to feel like, we are doing something. Your team needs to feel like we've scored. Our national team was playing, and when the ball went into the net, everybody screamed, because they knew, oh, we've scored. So figure out what that means for your team. It's not easy to figure out what that means in your team, but What is that will get everybody on the team to say, oh, today we've done it. Today we've done it. What is that? Because that will give a boost to your team, and it will help them look forward to the next time that they do it. Nobody wants to be on a losing team. Even if it's worship, and you might say, no, these things are spiritual, you cannot know what the Lord is doing. You can know when people have sung Chilea, they're singing off key. You can know when the band has just messed up. You can know. So let's figure out what that means, what the win means for our teams, and that will help them get to a point where they're feeling excited, and they know that they've achieved what they wanted, what they intended to achieve. And with God's help and God's wisdom, we will be able to do even more. So thanks for listening. We'll catch you in the next one.